Ranger Suarez. He's not the same as he was. His velocity was up a little bit. He was able to stretch out to 101 pitches, but the results are just not there. He has 2 starts before the playoffs come around, kind of projecting ahead a little bit. Is he getting the ball in game 3? Has Cristopher Sanchez superseded him to get the ball in game 3? How do you see this playoff rotation playing out here?
Yeah, I think, and I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you guys, so I hope you can hear me okay. But, in terms of the playoff rotation, yeah, I think Sanchez has definitely moved past Ranger and maybe even Nola. That's something they're going to have to discuss, whether they want to pitch Nola in game 2 or Sanchez in game 2. Obviously, Sanchez has really good numbers at home, so that might be something you want to consider. You could pitch Nola in game 3 on the road. He's a veteran, hostile environment, should be able to handle it. That said, maybe you just want to keep it Wheeler Nola because, been there, done that, and why upset the apple cart. We certainly know that, Nola's had a couple tough ones, but he can kickstart it at any time and look pretty good. He's done it before. So, yeah, I don't think, what we've seen from Ranger is just not the same Ranger we saw in the first 2.5, close to 3 months. And we were talking a lot about, All-Star game. We were talking a lot about, is he a candidate for the Cy Young? And if you remember, I would always caution that you have to do it for 6 months. And this is case in point. You have to do it for 6 months. What we've seen, he's been on the IL, but 5 starts back. He doesn't look like the same guy. He doesn't look to be in great shape. The velocity has not been what it was. The location has not been what it was. The crispness, all of the above. And he threw an awful lot of pitches last night. Threw some good cutters in on righties. I thought that was encouraging. But a couple starts left for them to really decide where he's going to fit in that postseason rotation. But I do think, getting back to your original question, Cristopher Sanchez is probably moved by him. From what we've seen from Sanchez has been really, really impressive.
Real quick on that same subject, Jim, if you mentioned it with Nola there, how much do you think they are going to weigh those home and road splits with Sanchez possibly bumping up? Is that going to be the bottom line deciding factor, or do you think Aaron Nola just has the trust of Rob Thompson and they keep it as is?
Yeah, I don't think the splits will be, bottom line. They're going to put all their decision-making in the splits, but certainly it's got to be part of the discussion, part of the equation that Sanchez has been so good at home and so good lately while Nola has had a few blips. But no, I don't think that would be the totality of this discussion. I mean, you mentioned the word trust, and they do trust Nola. Rob Thompson trusts Nola. The front office trusts Nola. Nola's been there. He's pitched in the playoffs. He's delivered big performances in the playoffs. And, you got Wheeler in game 1 and Nola in game 2. That's a heck of a place to start to try to go up 2-0. But Sanchez has pitched great too. So they might decide to flip-flop it. And if you can get that game, now you got Wheeler in Nola in game 3 on the road. That's a nice place to be as well. So they have a lot to talk about here. I would hate to see them, award Cristopher Sanchez the number 2 start and him all of a sudden feel like he has to do more. He just needs to be Cristopher Sanchez, just needs to do what he's done. But, sometimes I think there is that human nature where you kind of get a little bit of a promotion and at first you try to do too much. So I think that's something they have to consider. It's kind of like when you take a number 7 hitter, move him into number 4, all of a sudden he thinks he's got to be a different guy when the same guy would be just fine. So I'm sure they're going to weigh all of those things. It would not surprise me either way. If they go Sanchez 2, try to capitalize on his hot streak and his numbers at home and feel good about having Nola in game 3, or feel good about having Nola in game 2 behind Wheeler and try to go for a real quick strike. So a lot of balls in the air there, but to answer your original question, I don't think it's going to be all about the splits. I think history is going to weigh into it, experience and how they feel about Nola. in the big picture, he's built a pretty good body of work here.